In this video lecture, we will looking at data types in Java programming. Programming, we have what is called a data type. These data types are inserted inside variables. But variables are nothing but reserved memory locations that stores values. The values that are being stored here are called the data types. Don't ever get confused. I'm going to take it step by step, gradually. It has been a very big problem to many students that they get confused whenever we're talking about variables, especially the beginners, but this is the core of Java programming. Based on the data type of a variable, your operating system can dictate or allocate memory and decide what can be stored in the reserved memory. Okay, by assigning different data types to a variable, you can install sort of like integers, decimals, characters, or any other thing. We have two types of data types: primitive data types and non-primitive data types. Non-primitive data types can be called reference or object data types. But we are going to concentrate more on primitive data types. In beginner's class, this is where you lay the foundation of Java programming. After teaching beginners for many years, I've learned that beginners who don't grow up and understand the primitive data types make lots of mistakes in programming. Therefore, we'll concentrate more on primitive data types. And later in the course, we'll go ahead and look at reference or object data types. Primitive data types. We have two of these. We have numeric type and a non-numeric type. Numeric, in the sense they contain numbers, and non-numeric, in the sense they don't contain numbers. The numeric data types you have are integer data types and floating point data types, and the non-numeric data types you have are character data types and boolean data types. From here, int, short, float, and double are all types of numeric data types, and the char and boolean are non-numeric data types. Don't ever get confused. I'm going to explain everything step by step. After this lecture, as a beginner, you also make more research on data types. But I believe that the knowledge you get from here is going to help you, because I'm going to explain everything step by step. Looking at int. Int is a type of numeric data type under primitive data types. It is byte in the sense that it has 8 bits and or 1 bit. Anything 8 bit is equal to 1 byte. So 8 bits makes up a byte. Therefore, int can only have a size of 1 byte. The maximum value is what you're seeing on the screen. That is the highest value you can get for int. That is 214748364. That is the highest. We're going to check it out. If you go ahead and remove 7 and add 8, you consider have a red dot here, and if you take it, it just says literal, this value of type int is out of range, but anything lower, let's reduce this, You see, it doesn't affect it anyhow because it is less than normal value. Okay, this short is a type of integer that is called signed integer. It has 16 bit, or it can be said to be 2 bytes. The next is float. Float is of decimal numbers. On the numeric type, integer takes scale of whole numbers, while float takes scale of the decimal numbers. So anything decimal is taken care by float data type. Some call it floating point, and that is the standard. If I go ahead and remove the f whenever I put a float, it is no longer a floating point, because if we come over here and check is it, type mismatch cannot convert from double to float. Therefore, if you want to remove the float or the f at the back of your number on the float, you change that to double, because this cannot be converted. This is double. Double also takes care of decimal numbers, but double has a higher number. It stores more value than float. Float is only 32-bit or 4-byte, but double is 64-bit or 8-bytes. So, if you go ahead and add an f here on the double, you see that there is no problem because it can still contain that. Therefore, if I go ahead and put an f at the back of float, you see that the error is gone. But you don't put an f at the back of a double. Alright, that is about the numeric data type int and float. So the next one we have is character data types that is called char. It is used to store character constant in memory. Java provides a character data type called char, whose type consume is size of 2 bytes but can hold only a single character. Char can hold only a single character at a time. You cannot come here and write Java. When you do that, you can see that you have an error here, invalid character constant. But when you remove everything and leave only J, and that can only contain 2 bytes, and that is okay. The next one we have on the non-numeric data type is called the boolean. The boolean gives you 0 or 1, that is true or false. So, on a boolean, you can always get either true or you get false. Now that I have inserted all these, and I use variables num1, num2, num3, output, alpha, and result to represent these, I've added them all over here. Let's go ahead and check out and know if this is going to work out very fine. Remember our data types: int, short, float, double, char, or boolean. If I go ahead and hit on run, down here you can see the results. Integer is the value I gave to num1, and float is value I gave to num2. Integer is value of 0.5. I hope this is realistic because this is short. Short is integer. Or let's put it short. And the num3 is a float. So let's compile this again and check it out. We can see that it has been corrected. Integer is the value, short is the value there, and float is 0.5, double is the value, and char is J, boolean is true. So if you go ahead and change this boolean from true to false, go ahead and compile. It is false. What if you put it to something else? You can see that there is a mistake here. Multiple markers at this line. So this cannot be resolved. So it is either true or false. We're going to deal with data types as we move on into this class. I believe that you've started to grab most of the data types you're going to use as we move on in Java programming, because we must use them always in programming, and that is why we must teach it and we must learn it. I believe that it's very easy to learn, and you understand it. Okay, this is all about data types. If you have any question concerning this lecture on the data types, please use the question and answer sections, and I'm going to get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you so much, and I'm going to see you in the next video lecture.